Henderson was a nice drag strip, but the only one problem they had, being out in the desert, they had a lot of sand got blown onto the drag strip, making it pretty slippery for some of the faster cars. This was the central meet we're going to take in right now. The cars coming from California, Arizona, Nevada, and Florida. Art Malone came all the way from Florida to a race in this meet. He wanted to run against Art Chrisman and all the other top dogs that came down. Caught a pretty good chug to come from the LA area where most of them were located. This is the Bayer and Freitas car again, twin blown Chevys. Hayden Prophet was the driver on it. They were running 165 to 170 this particular day. Got another twin engine car out here at the same time. So you can see a couple of them square off. I just wish that when these films were shot, we would have had a movie camera with sound on them, because admitted, it really takes the sound to make what you're watching right now. But since there weren't too many sound movie cameras back in the 50s and the early 60s when these were shot, we just have to do the best of what we have. Would have been nice if we'd had video cameras back then and pick up all the sound of the engines. Pretty awesome up at the finish line. Again, you'll notice there's no lights given up here, the reaction time, all just strictly elapsed time. And there's no Christmas tree. We're still in the era of no Christmas tree, no reaction lights. And we're still smoking them. Now, did you notice I got the car in the line, and now I've got the car at the finish line? You know how I did that? I had a supercharged Corvette that I used to drive on the street, had a McCullough blower on it, and when the car started out, I'd put my camera down, hop in my Corvette, run down to the other end of the drag strip, get the camera out, and catch the car coming through. And I had a pretty fast car. And if you buy that, there's a bridge in Brooklyn, New York, I would like very much to talk to you about. So all we did here was just a little fancy editing when we got the movie film back. I really didn't expect you to buy that fast Corvette bit. They didn't have any bleachers at Henderson. All the spectating was done by just parking the car along the side and walking around the pit area. I believe this is Mickey Brown in the Engel Cam car. I may be wrong, but this is, I'm doing the best I can with my memory on some of this stuff. The idea was back then, before the trick clutches, now here he comes. Here, see this? See what a Corvette will do? Just get up to the finish line. We got him coming through. The idea back then was to smoke them just enough to get the tires breaking loose, get a bite. But if you smoked them too much, you lost. If you didn't smoke them enough, you lost. I believe this is a Herbert Cam car right here that has the injected Chevy engines in it. They're going to square off against the blown Chevys later on in this segment. While I was up there, they had one dragster that got a little bit of a problem, and he went off the drag strip and headed over into the dirt. And I got out of the way real fast. I didn't know where he was going to go, but I wasn't going to wait and find out. That was Leland Kolb in his Lincoln powered dragster. Just went through shutting off. Little Mercedes 300 SL here is run by Gus Stallings at a sports car agency, I believe in Phoenix, Arizona. Car right here, Hopper's Automotive, is based out of Arizona. You can see how slippery the track is. They would have to get out every so often and try to clean it off, but it's pretty hard to fight, especially if there's a lot of wind. This desert sand will blow over onto the track. Look at the chassis on this one. That's kind of unique. Everybody has their own idea. Here's Art Malone making his first run. Art used to be the driver of the Don Garlett's car. Then he decided to go off on his own. Here's Art Chrisman in the Hustler going through. Art waited a long time to pop the parachute on that car, but he finally popped it and got shot off. Gus Stallings here, he had a Ferrari at Bonneville one year and ran. Here's Art going back to the pit area in the Hustler. Gus had a Ferrari at Bonneville and proceeded to blow the engine on it. And everybody was laughing about the mechanic. It'd probably take him a year to get parts for it, put the car back together again. Oh, the parachute came off. I know a crewman that's going to really get in trouble when the car gets back in the pit area. Probably broke the mounting bolt. The driver got shot off okay. I took the camera off of him, but he got shot off okay. This guy waited a long time to pop the parachute. You can see he was pretty much down there and going into the dirt at the finish line. Interesting to see the different chassis that were built back then. Everybody had their own idea to try to get the car off the line and get the best traction off the line. A lot of weird combinations were tried back then. Here's the Dragster Leland Colt. Going to give you a good shot of the Lincoln engine he has in it. Got a chain, I think he has a chain-driven blower on this one. He starts out, bogs down, because he didn't break him loose very good, then he stops and says, come on, pull me back, I want to start over again. He's looking, where is everybody? He was having a trouble. They couldn't get it to break loose. If you don't break them loose, you're not going anywhere. He had the fire in this little Fiat coming up, where he popped the parachute almost at the beginning of the run. He had a fire, and he coasted over the side, and the people up at the finish line, the safety crew, and his pit crew came up and put the fire out. No damage is done to the car, just a small engine fire. But they got it out okay without the car. They haven't too much damage. The twin engine car era, that era lasted about 3 or 4 years. Then I think everybody decided they just about have done what they could with it, and they went back to the single engine car. Here's Hayden Prophet standing on the Bader and Ferreira's car, watching his combination make a run. See how fast he has to go. Listen to the ET. The next segment we're going to get into, when this is finished, will be El Mirage Dry Lake. These were taken back in the early 50s. This is where we'll go for a ride on the Roadster, 180 miles an hour. So we don't have too much more to go at Henderson, Nevada. Then we'll make a jump over to El Mirage Dry Lake, which is located in the California Mojave Desert, about, I'd say about 15 miles out of Atlanta, a little desert town on 395. That'll be coming up next. Here we went for a ride in the Bayer and Freitas car. And I hadn't stopped to think about they had a water overflow can in the front, and the lens proceeded to get covered up with water. So it kind of blew everything I was trying to do here, but I left it on anyway. It's kind of interesting. You can see the car swerving back and forth a little bit as the driver fought to keep control of the car. Checking something out on the engine. This is one of the officials of the group that put the races on, American Hot Rod Association.